Hey friend, it's Marissa, and welcome to the Camera Brave Show, the podcast where entrepreneurs uncover the power of storytelling. I teach entrepreneurs just like you how to take video and build their confidence on camera. In this show, I give you my best tips for framing your mindset, crafting your camera presence, and connecting deeper through video. I'm so excited to watch you grow. Let's dive right in. Hello, friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Camera Brave Show. My name is Marissa, your camera confidence coach, teaching you how to feel confident on camera and take stunning video. This is episode number 50, and today we are going to talk about this internal monologue and a story that you may have unintentionally created for yourself that may be perpetually keeping you stuck. This is something near and dear to my heart and something that I recently caught myself doing, and the story that you have may be one very similar to mine and what I was experiencing. So we are going to dive on into that today. Before I do jump on in, I want to take a quick moment and read a review written on Apple Podcasts for the Camera Brave Show. So this review is from Annette. She said, I adore this. Feeling like a brave woman. Annette, I love that. She says, Marissa is so easy to listen to. She has so many great tips and tricks to help me get on camera and be brave. Always looking forward to the next podcast. Thank you so much for that, Annette. I deeply appreciate that. I'm so glad that you are putting yourself on camera and that you are feeling brave, not only feeling it, but claiming it, feeling like a brave woman. She's claiming bravery for herself. She's becoming camera brave, and that is something that just lights me up inside. So I am so happy for you, and I'm grateful for you taking a moment of your time to write this review. I'm so glad that you're loving the content. Anyone else who is loving this show, learning something, or feeling like a brave woman similar to Annette, would you please take a moment of your time, go on over to Apple Podcast and leave a review. It allows me to know the content that you're enjoying, and it very much benefits this show. Alrighty, so what the heck was I talking about in the intro when I said, what story are you telling yourself? This is going to be a lot more simple than it sounds. I started telling myself the story of, I don't have time for that. Is that a thought that resonates with you? One that maybe you think and feel and believe over and over again? I do not have time. I don't have time. One of mine that I was constantly thinking of is, I don't have time to focus on my nutrition. I just don't have the time to meal prep. I don't have time. I don't have time to continually keep up on laundry. I just don't have time. I just get behind and then I purge it all on Sunday. I don't have time to X, Y, Z. And the truth is that here's what started this. First of all, I had a busy week. And truly an objectively crazy busy week, which I try to not do too often to myself. And you heard me speak a couple of episodes ago about overwhelm. And that was absolutely when I recorded that episode, I was in the height, or I had just finished that week of just craziness. So that week I got into hustle mentality. I really, truly did not have time for anything during that week. I was in survival mode. That's the word for it. I was in survival mode. However, once that week ended, I had repeated that so much to myself throughout the week that I continued to repeat that the following week. I was in survival mode. I didn't have time. I was busy. I was hustling. It's a busy season. I was overwhelmed. I was stressed out. I wasn't taking care of myself. And that continued to perpetuate. And I realized that I was telling myself the same story. So if you are finding yourself telling yourself the same story or believing this, that you are overwhelmed, that you are stressed out, that you do not have time for it, first of all, of course, that is valid. And I do not want to diminish anything that you're feeling or personally going through. However, when we perpetuate that story, we continue to play into that narrative, meaning if I didn't have time to focus on my nutrition, then I was going to go get garbage fast food. Because I didn't have time to clean everything up, I had the permission to throw my clothes wherever they needed to go because I didn't have time. So I was doing myself zero help by continuing to perpetuate this concept of I have no time. And I had to outright stop myself because I started having these wonderful opportunities, these wonderful moments for conversation pop up inside of my schedule. And I needed time in my schedule. I needed to create more time. So, in order to create more time, I had to take that story of I have no time and I had to call it out as a lie. That's a lie. I have as much time as I need. I have all the time that I need. I am in complete control of my time. That is the narrative that I started claiming for myself more recently, and it has changed everything. Now I am approaching things from the perspective of I have all the time that I need. I have time for every single thing that's important to me. What can I get done today? Because I have so much time, what realistically can I do with my time today? Now, one huge component of this was staying up and working late on Sunday to feel like I got everything done for that week that I needed to, everything that I didn't have time for, that I had put off, keeping my place messy. I had to really focus in and clean it all up. I had to get the place in order. I had to do some grocery shopping. I had to finish up all of the work tasks from last week that had overflowed onto this week. And once I did that, I was able to believe this new narrative of I have as much time as I need. The next narrative that I've been working on is I'm so stressed out. And I have to stop that, because that can have a serious effect on your mental and your physical health when you are buying into continually being in a position of stress, overwhelm, distress, physical and mental neglect. I mean, it really can deteriorate so rapidly. And here's the thing. If you are telling this story to yourself, I have great news for you. The great news is that you are the author. And you have the power to rewrite this narrative. You do not have to continue feeling like you are overwhelmed. You do not have to continue feeling like you have no time. You do not have to continue feeling stressed. You can decide that you are going to do what's got to get done to stop that lie and rewrite this story so that way you are back in the driver's seat. I kind of just switched my metaphor there from author to driver, but go with it. I mean, authors drive, drivers can write. So we're just going to go with it. Whatever it's going to take to put you in the driver's seat. Looking for a deeper way to connect with your audience? One way I stepped into sharing my message was through creating a podcast. When I started this show, I had zero experience with podcast hosting. So one thing that really helped me get started was how easy it was to host my podcast through Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout makes it easy to manage your podcast and puts all the analytics right at your fingertips. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform like Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Google Podcast, so you're able to reach your audience wherever they're listening. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Follow the link in the show notes to get started with Buzzsprout today. And make sure to use this link because you'll receive a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, which could literally go towards purchasing a microphone to record your show. Take the first step in creating your podcast by clicking the link below. So how do you go about doing this? What are the actual action steps? Well, the first step is to understand the story that you've been telling yourself and living by that you are no longer going to live by, that is no longer going to control you, and that is no longer going to have power over you. The first thing you have to do is pick one, because oftentimes if we're stressed, then we're tired. If we're tired, and then we're overwhelmed. And then if we're stressed, tired, overwhelmed, we don't have time. So sometimes it can get this just very complicated thing that we are living in. So simplify it. Understand, okay, what is the one that is hurting me? Which one of these stories am I living in that is hurting my business, hurting my health, hurting me? Me not having time to pay attention to what I ate Me not having the time to meal prep and to actually put some time into my nutrition, me not having time for that was hurting me. It's hurting my business, hurting my physical, mental, emotional health, all of the things. So I had to prioritize that, not having time. I had to switch that in my head all the time. I have as much time as I need. That's what I'm saying. Does that mean I'm not busy? Not at all. But I had to take what I had and make it work. So that way I know that I'm allowed to prioritize myself in my business. Your business is not your life. Your business is not your identity. If you've been living that way, it's time to pivot away from that. You may be in charge of your business, but you are also in charge of yourself. And as the person running your business, you have to take care of yourself. Unless your business is completely automated, which I know that's the goal for all of us, but let's be honest. There's a component of you and a piece of you that is mandatory for your business to thrive and survive. And in order to be the best you, to grow the best business, you have to actually have the blank to work on yourself. So for me, it was the time. I had to have the time to work on myself. I had to prioritize myself instead of getting caught up in the busy work. Did the busy work stop? Absolutely not. But I had to start thinking, I have all the time that I need. And you know what? That required. So the first step here, it's understanding which of these stories you're going to focus on, picking the one. And then what changes can you make to stop that narrative and start a new one? So one of the changes that I had to make for I don't have enough time is I had to let some things go. I had to realize I need to let some things go. I cannot do everything. Successful businesses have a team. Successful business leaders are strong leaders. They have the ability to delegate. These are skills that I personally and professionally have to grow into because I may not be able to get more time, but I can make my time more valuable by freeing up my schedule. So start making that list for yourself. What changes do you have to make in order to get more blank? For me, that blank was time. Whether that blank is more peace, could you put in a 10-minute meditation into your day? Now, listen, I don't know who this is for, but I feel like I need to say this for someone. I very recently just started on the Calm app, Calm, and I started using it because I've always had a tough time sleeping, and they have these really nice sleep stories. So I've been using the sleep stories to fall asleep to. However, they also have 10-minute daily meditations. And I started doing those just to kind of play around with it. And wow, they are incredible. It has allowed me to feel incredible. So if you are in a season of stress and overwhelm, I would recommend, even if you are brand new to it, I'm very new to the world of meditation. I've tried it. You probably have too. You probably tried meditation at some point. And I have as well, but I've never actually stuck with it. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be a daily practice, but this has helped me feel a lot better, especially in those decisions or those positions of overwhelm and stress. So little sidebar there for anyone who may be in that season, I would absolutely recommend getting the Calm app. It's like $12 a month. And I think you can get a free 30-day trial with it, but it has absolutely helped me get into meditation a little bit more to help with this season of overwhelm. So what changes do you need to make in order to rewrite this narrative? And then the last component here, what is your new story? Do I believe that I have plenty of time, that I have all the time that I need? I'm starting to believe that because I've been repeating it over and over and over again. I want to believe that. I want to believe if an opportunity comes to me, if a person comes to me, a mentor that I really want to help and I want to give back, I want to believe that I am able to prioritize them and make time for them because I have all the time that I need. I have more than enough time. I am able to take on whatever I need to take on. And that's just my current season right now. I've been in a place where so many opportunities are coming my way, and I've needed to clear my schedule to make room for these mentorships, to make room for these clients that are needing more of my time, to make room for new opportunities for myself to grow my marketing and my business. So for me, time was that asset that I needed more of, and I needed to rewrite that narrative. So whatever that new story is, write it down. Put on a sticky note on your fridge, make a cute little Canva graphic with it, and make it your lock screen. That's your new narrative. That's your new truth. I have all the time that I need. I am peaceful with every new obstacle that comes my way. I release stress and do not hold on to it. I am free to feel freedom in my business. Whatever you are in need of, identify it, make that action plan, what's going to get you there, and then rewrite that narrative inside of your head. Rewrite your story, my amazing storytellers, my authors. Pick up that pen and reclaim your story. It is not written in stone. None of this is written in stone. You can pivot. You can be in a season. You can fluctuate. You are human and wonderful and beautiful. And even if you're feeling fatigued or overwhelmed or strapped for time or stressed, this too shall pass. Cling to that and know that there's grace for you, that this is a moment, and it may be a difficult moment, but moments come and they go. Seasons will change. And if you are in this state, telling yourself this story, you have the power to rewrite that story. You do not have to wait for it to get better. You don't have to wait for your schedule to clear up. You will feel better once you put in this work. I felt better the minute I made this decision to decide I had time to figure it out. And I put in like a grind of work, and yeah, that was difficult at the time, but the result was feeling so much more in control. So even though these steps can be so hard and heavy and difficult, does not mean that they're the wrong decision. And it oftentimes means that pushing through those decisions are what is going to alleviate that stress, alleviate that overwhelm, and give you what you're truly needing. For me, it was more time. What is it for you? Thank you for listening in with me today, friends. If you enjoyed this episode, or you know anyone who is going through some sort of narrative inner monologue that you've heard them say, maybe it's that they're never able to be on time. Maybe it's that they feel like they don't know what they're doing, or you've heard this sort of common thread and thought, okay, that's a lie. And I want to help you get through that and rewrite that narrative. Would you please do me the honor of sending them this episode? The Camera Brave Show has been able to grow exponentially because you all are sharing these episodes. You're enjoying them. You're sending them to a friend. And I, as a podcast host, could not ask for anything more than the gift and generosity for you to share this message with someone that you love. Thank you so much for listening in with me today, friends. As always, you can find me over at Camera Brave on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, friend, and I'll see you next time on the Camera Brave Show. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Camera Brave Show. Make sure you subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to get notifications of new episodes every single week. I love bringing you practical confidence and mindset tips. If you love them too, one of the best ways to support this podcast is to leave us a review, because it helps us grow the platform to bring you even more powerful stories. Plus, it makes me do a literal happy dance. I so appreciate you spending your time with me, friend. I'll see you next week.